mercilessly pressed young kids at the age of high school or middle school to fight for every square meter of German soil. Once the French, the Americans all over came to Germany, fighting intensified horribly. And it was also part of your contribution to the success that it didn't come to that in this southern part, because very swiftly the French units could go beyond, and then after that it eased up a little bit. You were able to help to win the war for the good cause. And many Germans then, most of us, maybe almost everyone, luckily found out afterwards very quickly it was victory also fought for the Germans. And then came a situation which I can only describe as a miracle. And that is the miracle of the transatlantic friendship. And you Americans in the room, you were the ones who embraced Germany so soon afterwards. That was the symbolic moment, was the airlift to Berlin, just 4 years after the war. And then another miracle happened, and that was young French, young Germans, young Italians, young Europeans decided, together with wise elder, never, never again, and started the ongoing, most fascinating historic project of the European Union. But life would be easy if it was only for political developments. There is always counter forces. Evil never gives up. And now we come to you, dear Marthe Cohn. You spoke up as you had been actively fighting by just giving your personal life situation to the people through many, many reports, your fabulous book, and through many activities in which you shared your own courage and your own experience against evil with people, especially with young people. And you have a way, and I know that from the German side, to convince young people. So all your life, when we were building up a free Europe, united together with the United States and other nations which believe in human rights, in the rule of law and democracy, you helped with your speeches to remind the vulnerable young people, vulnerable also for evil influence. Don't do this. Fight the vulnerability. And for that very reason, we Germans have decided to copy the French. And our French colleague will later speak about the wonderful order which they have bestowed upon Marthe Cohn. We copy it for another reason. The reason is that you were so gracious to also speak to and in a very positive way influence German children, German young adults and German adults. Marthe Cohn gave a speech in the city of Potsdam, which was widely resounding and made her a hero there, and we hope for continuing speeches. The Order of Merit, which I'm now going to bestow on you, is given by the President of the Federal Republic of Germany, Mr. Gauck. Mr. Gauck has made it his personal point, wherever he goes, when he travels around the world, or when he receives visitors, to stand for human rights, for freedom and democracy, because he, as an East German, has been deprived of it for so many years himself. So I can tell you, this order makes him, the bestowment of this order makes him as proud and as happy as it makes me, for the very special reason of his own wish for a better world, especially for the next generation. Mrs. Cohn, I need you now to stand up a little for a while. That's no problem. I'm now reading out to you in German.
That's fine. As long as I don't have to speak.
And I promise you, all who don't speak German, it's just wonderful. Verleihungsurkunde. In Anerkennung der die Bundesrepublik Deutschland erworbenen besonderen Verdienste verleihe ich Frau Marthe Cohn das Verdienstkreuz am Bande des Verdienstordens der Bundesrepublik Deutschland. Berlin, den 23. April 1914, der Bundespräsident Joachim Gauck. Don't think that the process is over. Now I'll pin it on. That's it. List of rules which she has to follow. But don't you worry, we will help you. So that's for you too. So here is everything. And I'll pass it on to Hassan. Thank you very much. And let me also say, it's a rare situation in Germany that we bestow orders of merit on ladies, on women, still. And so we always thank the wife in the background and all of this. It's so nice to do the opposite this time. What a husband.
She wants to say.
Yes. There is the best way to sit both up here.
I want to thank all of you who have come today to share with me that amazing day. And I would like now to thank the German government. The 21-year-old French girl I was in late 1941 could never have believed as she sat at her desk in the office of requisition in Poitiers City Hall, facing 3 huge Wehrmacht military policemen armed with rifles fixed with bayonets, shouting Judenreich, that 73 years later she would be honored by the German government. What made this amazing turnabout possible? Major changes started with Konrad Adenauer, the first post-war Chancellor of the New Germany, who was elected in 1950. His government chose to simultaneously demonstrate sensitivity to the trauma experienced by the victim of Nazi ideology and publicly admit accountability. Adenauer, along with the French statesmen Jean Monnet and Robert Schuman, whose father was Jewish and his mother Catholic, were the founding members of the European coal and steel community. The three statesmen sealed the first reconciliatory pact between Germany and France. All three were later involved in the creation of the European Economic Community and finally in the establishment of the European Union. Adenauer also established political and friendly relationships with, among others, General Charles de Gaulle, the French president, and David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister. In 1952, West Germany and Israel signed the Luxembourg Reparation Agreement, which laid the groundwork for Israel's infrastructures at a cost of several billion Deutschmark. The agreement also granted several million Deutschmarks to Jewish organizations with the stipulation that the money was intended for individual war survivors worldwide. So, the Council of Evangelical Churches issued the Stuttgart Declaration of Guilt in 1945. Serious grappling with the recent past of the country occurred in the late 1960s, when rebellious West German teenagers called on their parents, the so-called perpetrator generation, to account for war years. Self-scrutiny, serious intergenerational dialogues, and effective educational initiatives resulted in decades of sustained attempts to process the coming to terms with the past known in German as Vergangenheitsbewältigung. The succeeding governments continued to sign trade and cultural agreements with the Israeli government and to grant additional compensations for the individual survivors. In 1991, the West German government adopted the Contingent Refugee Act to secure the future in Germany of 4,000 Russian Jews who had immigrated in 1990 from Soviet Russia. Elected in 2005, Angela Dorothee Merkel, the first woman and the first East German to serve as Chancellor, is the present leader of reunified Germany. Under her leadership, trade and cultural exchanges between Germany and Israel expanded to the point that Germany is presently Israel's largest trade partner in Europe, and it is estimated that in 2013, 6,000 German and Israeli youths participated in exchange and semesters abroad programs funded by a ministry of the German government. High school curriculum in Germany now includes 20 hours of instruction on the Holocaust and additional time for visiting concentration camps. Though West Bank settlement policies have been the cause of tensions between Merkel and the Israeli government, in February 2014, the Chancellor brought most members of her cabinet to Israel for an annual joint cabinet session with her counterpart. Said sessions were held since 2008. Despite the frictions, Merkel governors marking the 50th anniversary of the 1965 official establishment of diplomatic relations between West Germany and Israel, unveiled new trade and cultural projects such as new scholarships and work-study exchange programs for German and Israeli youth. Additional compensation covering medical care for aging Holocaust survivors and agreements for joint development work in African countries. Of great historical interest is the fact that the two governments agreed to make the German consular services available to Israeli travelers in about 30 countries which carry no diplomatic relations with Israel. Presently, 15,000 Jews are officially registered in Germany, but 100,000 more are in the country illegally, including a group of young Israelis living in Berlin. A great number of revived synagogues, several day schools, 3 Rabbat centers serve the Jewish community in Berlin. Potsdam has a rabbinical seminary. I strongly feel that this brief and largely incomplete record of the achievement of the new Germany in the humanitarian sphere is the most appropriate conduit for expressing my deepest gratitude for the honor bestowed upon me by the German government. I also wish to express my profound admiration for the German government's chivalrous attitude toward the former enemy combatant. I would like now to address myself to Dr. Fischer. It is difficult to find the right words to thank you for your gracious announcement that the German government had conferred on me the Bundesverdienstkreuz, or Cross of the Order of Merit, that you personally would remit this highly distinguished reward to me, and for the generous offer that I invite my family, friends, and acquaintances to the reception we intended to organize for this event. I was so stunned that I had trouble answering you coherently. Dr. Fischer, please accept the expression of my genuine appreciation for your meaningful and heartfelt comments and for your elegant hospitality in the Goethe Institute, a name exalting the real Germany I knew as a child in neighboring lands. I am so pleased to be able to publicly recognize the concerted efforts on my behalf of Mrs. Diana Wiese, Vice Consul of the Press and Cultural Affairs, Miss Saskia Weber, Assistant to the Consul General, and Mrs. Ines Weyer, Assistant to the Deputy Consul for General Cultural and Press Affairs. Please believe it's a high level of my appreciation for your patience, kindness, prompt answers to my inquiries, and attention to details I would have missed. Thank you for making this event such a great success. I would be remiss to not express my gratitude to my dear friend Amélie de Maupoux, the former press agent of the French publisher Plon, who traveled with Major and me to all of the cities of my signing tour in 2005. Amélie, who had moved to Berlin, invited us, and in 2011 and 2012 organized several talks there. She introduced me to Marcel Young, one of her childhood friends who now lives in Potsdam. Marcel, who invited me to give talks in his gorgeous mansion in 2011 and again in 2012, joined the ranks of our friends. After learning that the German government had awarded me the Cross of Merit, I immediately called Amélie and Marcel. Amélie was amazed, but Marcel reacted by laughing and confessing that he was the culprit who had put in motion the entire proceedings by submitting a request to the German government. Voilà.
If you want, you can slide.